So welcome everybody. We worked for ALLO Fiber, and our project was bill of materials automation. And so this is our senior showcase, senior design showcase presentation. So again, we worked for ALLO Fiber, just a short description of who they are. Regional telecommunications network provider based in Nebraska. They offer fiber optic internet, TV, and phone services. And they focus on delivering fast, reliable, 100% reliable fiber networks. And why they care. So they're trying to scale operations, and this requires efficient material management. Manual bill of materials processes can be time-consuming and error-prone, so once someone's got to go in, download all the bills of materials, and then consolidate them. And then automation would help improve accuracy, save time, and then support company growth as well. So just a quick overview of who our sponsors were. We have Kevin Wuchek over here. He's a head software engineer and one of the top people we communicated with every week. We have James Sabesh, design manager. We worked with him specifically on like a lot of the features we wanted to implement, and then making sure everything was working together. And then Max Monclair was one of the other sponsors that we worked with as well on like a weekly basis whenever we ran into any technical issues. And we have Al Schroeder here as well. So someone else we communicated with every week, again, making sure that it was feature complete. And then some of our stakeholders on the UNL side, our project manager was Melanie Kulger-Wright. She gave us advice every week on the agile process and making sure we were working effectively together as a team. Our tribe lead was Juan Sui, and then she was another one we worked with and got advice from on a weekly basis. And then for any technical problems we had, we worked with Cody Altman. He was our technical coach and helped us with a lot of our problems. And then just a short introduction to the team. So my name is Ethan Newland. I was a squad lead and the product manager. We have
Tristan Jones. I was the dev manager for this year's team.
And then for our 4 developers, we had Chase Borchers, Joseph Allen, Ben Buckland, and Eldon Salja. They all worked together, and we were able to distribute the work pretty effectively, I'd say. And then just a quick overview of what the problem and what the opportunity was here. So the problem was, again, bill of materials generation. So at ALLO Fiber, this could be a manual, time-consuming, and error-prone process. Someone had to go in to the API and pull all the bills of materials, consolidate them. Some of these challenges included like consolidating the multiple BOMs, ensuring it was accurate, and then integrating with tools like Smartsheets, like someone would have to, again, manually go in and do this. And so these manual errors led to inefficiencies and just cost increases just because of how much time it takes. So opportunity here was to automate the BOM generation, reducing manual effort, error rate, consolidate the pawns and bombs into a united validated spreadsheets automatically so that someone didn't have to go in and do all of that as well. And then integrate this seamlessly with Smartsheets and then automate the BOM costing. And then the potential savings here from ALLO would be between $24,000 to $39,000 annually, and it would help improve efficiency and accuracy as well.
So moving on to what we kind of thought up. First of all, we wanted this to be a cloud-based web application so that ALLO did not have to worry about any of the hardware. It was just already hosted on an EC2 instance. We wanted to reduce the minimal or manual effort and just basically streamline the entire operation of creating the BOM. This EC2 instance is accessible only through ALLO Fiber employees via whitelisted IPs. That's just hitting a public IP. This solution was also created using AWS. We had a fast API backend that was mainly created through Python, and then the front end was entirely React-based web app. Kind of moving on to what the core features of this solution we thought up was. First of all, the automated BOM generation. We wanted to automate this process. So the automated BOM generation goes into the API, grabs all the data, and then feeds it back into various scripts that we would consolidate these BOMs into one large spreadsheet so that they can see it on the page in a format that they're familiar with, just in a manual sense they're familiar with, replicate it in an automated sense. We also wanted to validate this data, which had another script which would just run through each of the data, make sure specific rules were in place, and if anything was wrong, it would flag those and tell you, okay, the data is wrong in here so that they can go in and change it. It also has the ability to automate the costing through various finance teams like formulas and stuff. It's basically Excel macros that just take the data and then spit out what the overall cost of these would be. As far as challenges that we found on here, a lot of the challenges we had was the API call and the EC2 instance stability. First off, just figuring out the API was kind of a challenge in itself. We had a lot of issues, one with communicating with the third-party kind of team that hosted this API and getting it to be the correct kind of call so that we can get the data correctly. We did go on a meeting with them and did eventually figure out there was a typo in the documentation, which would make it so that we couldn't really find the API, like the endpoint that we needed to. So we did end up getting that working. But after that, we also ran into another issue with the API call where it lasted over the 29-second EC2 request threshold. That would essentially kind of make the EC2 freeze up and just not work. You couldn't SSH into it. You couldn't really do much on there. It would just entirely lock up. So as a solution to these problems, one, I already mentioned, we talked to the third-party consumer or third-party API developers to make sure that we're doing it all correctly. But for the EC2 issues, we created a load balancer along with their DevOps Max, which would essentially just make this request, and once it got something back, it would pass it back into the EC2, so we didn't hit that 29-second time limit inside the EC2. As for what the value of this, we already stated that this would save about $24,000 to $39,000 annually just based off of this automation, saving in manual labor costs. This also significantly reduces the chance for errors in these, since it's not manual anymore. It's following a predetermined algorithm that follows the same steps every time. And this also led to the faster creation of these BOMs. Algorithms are just going to be faster than human hands, human minds, so it's going to be able to find that end product at a faster time. And so just to highlight kind of everything we've gotten so far, we created an AWS hosted web application, and we also integrated this with Smartsheet so that they could take it from this application onto other applications they use to kind of view these BOMs on. We also consolidated the BOMs into a unified spreadsheet, just kind of what they do, just did it automatically. And then we also built a flexible data validation algorithm that would be able to tell them, okay, what's going on, where is it going on? Other than that, that's everything we had. Any questions or anything? Alrighty. Thank you all so much for attending.